常年生活在北极的海鸟，看到人类的船艇一路尾随，或是比赛前行速度，似乎在向我们展示翱翔的风姿。贴着水面时高时低，对于人类侵入领地一点都不惧怕。站在快艇甲板的我们，用外来者的眼光欣赏着这群北极住民展现的十足生命力。不过，也有些动物根本懒得理人，像是这几只北极的海象，懒洋洋地瘫在岸边，自顾地享受悠闲时光。
The walrus is take 2 years for it basically to reproduce. It's getting it's pregnant for 16 months.
Okay.
So, and then the calf is staying for 2 years. So one new one, it takes 4 years for a new one to get produced, say like that. So it takes a lot of time for them to get larger number. On the west coast, we have mainly male walruses. The females are on the east side and towards Russia. And then in the wintertime, they actually meet up in the north in mating, and then they separate.
海象的天敌在自然界主要是鲸鱼和北极熊，不过猎杀最多海象的还是人类，因为海象的经济价值高，不仅海象肉可以吃，肥厚的脂肪可以炼油，粗厚的皮可以制成皮革，海象牙更是极其珍贵。不过因为早年的过度猎捕，让大西洋海象数量急剧下降，现在各国几乎都已经把海象列为禁止捕杀物种。
Yeah, it's a whale. It's a minke whale. That's a minke whale.
只是并非所有物种都能获得保护。维京文化中一直有猎捕鲸鱼的习俗，在全球保育人士的努力下，全世界只剩下挪威和日本持续开放有限制的捕食鲸鱼。不过，并不是所有鲸鱼都能猎杀，唯一开放的只有小须鲸，理由是小须鲸的繁殖速度比较快。
Just the carpaccio. This is how it looks from the inside.
This is the heart. This is only one heart?
One heart, or half of one heart.
All these is really big.
Yeah.
Oh.
It is like the size of me. If I crawl into a ball, it's like the size of me.
挪威管辖的斯瓦尔巴每年也开放固定时间捕鲸，在不违反法令的前提下，我们进到了提供鲸鱼肉菜单的餐厅，眼前看到的是鲸鱼的心脏，内部的心室孔洞清晰可见。
I think this is the most interesting pieces because you see the inside, how it's built.
鲸鱼的吃法很多，而这位年轻主厨把鲸鱼心脏切成薄片，做成开胃菜。
We pre-slice it from the freezer. We defrost it quickly with a blowtorch. We top it with some goat cheese, chive oil, and some salsified chips.
主厨告诉我们，这条鲸鱼是在我们采访前2周由当地村民捕猎的，肉质还很新鲜。
There you go. This will be the well etc.
血红色的鲸鱼心脏摆盘看起来精致，但生食的味道恐怕不是人人都能接受。
It's a little bit smoky.
Yeah, it's been smoked for like 15 minutes.
And very chewy, just like you said. 就是咬起来就是它很有口感，然后非常有嚼劲，就是有点像牛舌，但是牛舌我们吃的比较厚一点点。说实在，它吃起来会有一点点的跟鱼腥味又不太一样，会有一种奇怪的肉味在里面。
If you cook it too long, if you got like a well done whale, I'm not gonna serve it. It's either medium rare or raw.
无法形容的味道，似乎是人类和鲸鱼搏斗的血腥味。我们为了节目拍摄，浅尝即止，再多也吃不下了。倒是斯瓦尔巴的另一种在地野味，让人惊艳。 鲜嫩的菲力肉排放进平底锅里，两面快煎，让表面焦香，锁住肉汁，再放进烤箱低温烘烤，只要短短几分钟，切开肉排，粉嫩诱人。
It's very raw.
在北极特有的野味，猜到了吗？这是驯鹿菲力。
这个是也是当地特有的这个 reindeer 麋鹿肉。
麋鹿肉，对，
麋鹿肉就是圣诞老公公骑的那个麋鹿。现在我要把这个麋鹿吃下去了。它是一个独特的味道，就是麋鹿只有自己的味道。我原本以为它会吃起来像牛肉或羊肉之类的。
不过，我们在资料查证过程中发现，我们口中的麋鹿并不是 reindeer， 真正的麋鹿原生于中国长江下游，也是古代俗称的四不像。而帮圣诞老公公拉雪橇的是北极 reindeer， 真正的名称应该是驯鹿。驯鹿肉吃起来清香，没有红肉的重口味，做成3分熟，鲜嫩多汁，几乎入口即化。
I think every restaurant here will have a reindeer on the menu. Because everyone wants to taste the reindeer. Usually we don't. It's only like in only in like the season we can serve the reindeer, but we always keep some reindeer for special guests.
在朗伊尔市餐厅里吃到的驯鹿都是野生的，我们走在路上要遇上驯鹿一点都不是难事。呆萌的驯鹿，即使有人类靠近，它们一点都不害怕。或许是这股傻劲让人觉得特别可爱。但当地政府为了控管数量，每年开放特定时间给持有执照的猎人捕猎，也让这群无害的特有驯鹿成了人类餐桌上的美味佳肴。在广袤辽阔的北极圈内，生态系统自有一套运行规则。人类作为外来者，该如何与在地物种共生，维系自然循环，将是无法回避的重要课题。